Thank you so much, Mohammed, for reminding us of that compound effect. And Darren Hardy goes over that so beautifully in his book. If you guys have not, that's another resource for you to check out. So I really appreciate you being here. And we're going to go from planet Earth straight over to you, planet Brad. What do you have for us, Coach?
Grand Rising, my breakfast buddies. I got some fun stuff, Stacy. I know the gal. I got a real estate friend that lives in Albuquerque, and her son owned the house that they rented out. He literally called his mom, who's a real estate agent, said, "Should I rent my house out to them for like a month or two or something?" She's like, "Heck yeah." So I actually know where that house is. I've seen it, and it's a lot of fun stuff. So anyway, so my share today, what really like jumped out at me was one of the biggest books that talks just about the details was The Slight Edge by Jeff Olsen. And I believe Don Success even does a lot of support with that. I think he's written a version for teens or something that it seems like the Success organization might be behind on that a little bit. But that one, I mean, he really just talks about choosing to eat a salad versus pizza. I've talked about that before. And how I related that to my business is, all of us in business, we all probably benefit from some referrals of some sort. That's the best business you can get. So one of the examples I share all the time is, you do a great job for somebody, they refer you, and what you don't know is if you don't have those details documented, and they happen every single time. Like, for example, something as simple as sending a coffee cup with chocolates and a balloon when your contract gets accepted in real estate world, for example, right? Well, so you get a referral from somebody and they're like, "Oh man, these people are great, they're awesome." And that was just an idea you heard, so you did it once and you didn't do it again. And so the referral goes back to the referring source and says, "I don't think your realtor liked us as much. We didn't get that cup of chocolates." And that one little thing could stop that person from referring more people. So it is little details. The other thing that kind of stood out to me was I heard Dave Ramsey say this once, that he was an overnight success. It took 20 years of him fighting and begging people to play his show on the radio station. And for 20 years, he did that, worked it, grindstone, did the details, called little stations. And then what's he do? He gets a little appearance on a little show called Oprah and talks about a book, and it's overnight success. So it's all those little things that led up to it. So my meat that I'll leave you today, because I always want to leave something that you could apply in your business that I've done. It's just stuff like feeding the database every single day. Like, all the people we meet throughout the day, if you think back to yesterday, how many cool people you probably ran into, met with, had great two-way conversations, and you might not think of them again for another year, 2 years, 5 years, until you accidentally cross paths and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot they were so cool." So I have triggers and action plans that tell me, did you feed the database today? Here's the links, put the names in, right? Another little detail. When I meet somebody cool, the first thing that pops out of my task list is, did you send a handwritten note? It could be the easiest thing that you forget to do because it takes time. And if you're not sitting right in front of the note right then, you're probably not going to remember to do it later. So, like, I have triggers. I capture everybody, start the plan. It tells me to write the note. And then Tony said something too about the calendar thing. One of my little details is every appointment, there's a trigger in there to call the night before or the morning of the appointment and just confirm that we're still going to meet. And really what I do is I give them an out, because I figured out I was wasting so much time going to an appointment and they weren't home. It's like, this is stupid. Just call and confirm and actually give them the out. I can always reschedule the appointment and get my time back. So just little details like that. That would be my share for today.
Thank you so much for reminding us of those. And yes, I'm very familiar with the book, The Slight Edge, and it's also, a big piece of detail is when you're in business, that another good old saying is fortune's in the follow-up. It's how are we following up with the individuals that we interact with so that we can come from that detail-oriented approach where everyone feels individual. And when we work with people and they feel individual, then they feel seen, heard, and valued. And that is a big detail that large companies may miss at times. And that's why they may not have the same type of following as if you were to take your time and believe that each person is important and is valuable. So thank you so much for having that on our table this morning. And I wanted to pop over to Anil.